Beautiful morning for fishing, people of the world. I'm going to head off up the river now in a while. Don't you know, I'll give you a bit of information while I'm at it. But look, that's a great spot for salmon all along there. Usually is like, I seen one fish showing down there now, one salmon broke down there on top of the water. There's always salmon in this river. Most of the times now, 99, if I got out of every 100 salmon I catch, I leave 99 of them off. I'll only keep one to eat. So, it's grand to be out in the morning times. Just 9 o'clock now, I got here about 8:30. It's a beautiful morning. It's the way you want it when you're fishing. You want it cloudy, overcast. You don't want to fish in the sun. The fish see your shadow along the river bank. They just won't go near anything. They just stays in under the banks. It's very hard to catch fish in the sunshine, especially salmon. So I'm going to head back up the way now in a minute, get myself a nice cup of tea by the river and chillax. I'll keep you posted. I have a bit of information to give you as well, so if you want to listen into that you can. So I'll get back to you there in a while. I'm fishing off a bridge. Normally now you just fish along the bank. It's never good fishing off a bridge unless you're fishing for trout. But when you're fishing with salmon, you want to be throwing your worms out and letting them bounce along, down along the centre and then down along the sides. That's why when you're up on the bridge you can't do that. But that doesn't mean you wouldn't still get one. People often got them off the bridge. So anyway, talk to you soon. Going to move up yonder. Let myself a cup of tea. I give it another 40 minutes there, nothing happened. So that's enough. If you don't see something after 40 minutes, you better have to move on. Oh, they're poisonous, dangerous hogweed. But not for me, thank God. As I said, when I got destroyed in that, now I got it from head to toe. Everywhere, my toes, my stones, my crack in my ass, everywhere I was covered from head to toe and it destroyed. It happened 2 or 3 times when I was young fella. And then, boom. Became immune to it. And look, people were looking for worms, look. They were fishing here and they ran out of worms. So it's a good little spot too. I'm going to give it a few minutes and see how we get on. That was a great little spot there. We have them all dressed in there. I fished it for about 15 minutes. That's a good spot out there. You try worms out there, they run along the far side, the middle, then this side. Then you do that for about 15-20 minutes. If nothing happens, you need to move on. Because if there is a fish there, i.e. a salmon, he's not interested. If he was, he would have taken it right in. So if he doesn't take one in, hold on, I'll match something's at it there now. We could be onto something here now, people. We could be onto something. Probably a little trout or something. Trout I don't want. What the trout do is you just pull the tails off the worms. If you're constantly changing your worms, then you see, because salmon won't really take the worms if they're all busted and they're in bits. You get a night time. I often got salmon when the worms be not narrowly on the hook, busted to bits over the trout, and still you'd hook the salmon. But in general salmon like to see the worms presented to them properly. If they don't present the bait to them properly, they mightn't look at it. And night time they will, as I said, but it's rare, but I often did. But 95% of the time, if you haven't got them worms out there right, or you're not introducing the bait to the fish properly, he won't look at it, because they're not stupid, you get me? You just leave it there. That's a good little hole there. The hole's not fish. I often got a fish out of here and there. When I say fish now, I mean salmon. So I often got an old fish out of there. I often got him down here, further down behind the bridge, off up here. Everywhere, because I'm salmon fishing all my life, so then some spots are useless where you get nothing. It all depends. I'll just leave it there for a while and see. There was a trout at it a minute ago. Go over here and have myself a cup of tea. Make myself a cup of tea, people of the world. Boom, people of the world, time for a cup of tea. Flask, unbreakable flask, speaker for a bit of music, power pack, tea bags, an Irish breakfast. It says, I don't know, can you see it on it? But it says an Irish breakfast. So there's my Barry's tea. Voila. There's my spoon. Here's my spoon, boss. One spoon. Some banya. There you go. And I like to leave the tea bag in it. So when I want to top it up, I just add another sip of warm water, or hot water I should say. Power pack for music for later if I get bored. Boom, set it up to the Bluetooth. But at the minute I'm happy listening to the birds. There you go. One nice, shall I show you? One nice smiley cup of tea. It's upside down. That's tasty now, people of the world. You cannot beat a cup of tea by the river. The bird's whistling. I'm going to fish here for about 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. Then I'll move up. Then I'm going to go back to the car. Then I'm driving up. Drive a couple of miles upriver. Go up to another bridge. Get out of the car. Walk for about 2 miles up the river. And then fish away for another while. So it's called fishing and not catching. I mean, it's not always about catching something. It's nice to catch something, but you don't always catch something, do you? But I mean, it's not all, again I said, it's not all about catching. It's about out in the lovely fresh air, the birds whistling, the smell of cow shite. That's it, the sound of the river. Their senses are alive. The feel of the wet grass when you walk through it in the morning dew. You can't bear it. The rain down, lads. Going back under the bridge where I was yesterday. So I'd fish it along there and give it a shot, even though it's probably wasting your time. But get in out of the rain. Best time for salmon fishing in the rain, like this is where you want it. Perfect weather for salmon fishing. I've fished away about for a while, so I'm going to make my way into the car and I'm going to head up river a couple of miles. Seen one salmon over there a while ago. He jumped, he head and tail like that. I'll get back to you in a while, people of the world. Right, so we're a couple of miles further up the river. I know on camera it sounds like it's only 2 seconds ago. But that's the whole idea of being able to edit the video, isn't it? So I didn't, you'd have to stick it out with me. So this is known as Bridge, and I'm going to pull in here to the farmer's house on the right, Paddy O'Malley. I know it's him here, so just let this person do the little thing there now first. The O'Malley Paddy's dead and gone now, he died a long time back. I'm coming out here fishing since I'm a child. I'll show you the farmhouse I used to go into back in the day. So, stay with me. Always make sure you close the gates off there. And never leave any rubbish on the river. If you do see any rubbish, you should take it with you. That's Paddy's old house there. When I was a child, I used to go into that house there. I used to pump the water out of the well. There's a well there where that pallet, you can't see the well now. I used to go into that house there, get water. I used to hang around with the farmer's son in there, Ricky, and his daughter Catherine. And that was it there. You can even still see the well there. I zoom in here. I'm sure you can see it around there. Where is it? It's there, that's the handle of the well there. There, that's the handle you pump that there. So fresh water, that's where you used to get the water. Back in the days. Trying to zoom in. You can't see it from here. Anyway, that's the house, the spindle house. I often sit down there and have my dinner. So I'm going to head off up the river here now for a couple of miles. Let's see if I come in back there. There's an old graveyard up here now, but you have to be local to be buried in it. You're not allowed to be buried here unless you're local. I'm sure old Patsy is buried in there. Or Paddy, I mean. Paddy O'Malley. What way is this gate now? Oh, it's this way and that way. It's an old gate to put up. Again, as I said, you always make sure you close the gates when you come through. Make sure they're closed properly. It's the old graveyard there, as I said here. You have to be from here to be buried in there. There's a bull up here now, right? And as I said before, bulls, you have to be clever when you're dealing with bulls. Because sometimes the bull will see you, but he'll let on he doesn't see you. And he'll kind of meander his way down towards you. And when he gets within range, then he'll charge you. That's when you've got to be willing to jump into the river. And some bulls will follow you into the river. So the best thing to do, if you see the bull making shapes, getting up and taking notice, you just move away from him slowly but surely. Just keep walking away from him at an angle. Don't do any fast running because he'll follow you. A lot of people get killed by bulls. Farmers get killed by bulls. Their children get killed by bulls. So, whoops. Hopefully he's not up here. The cattle are down this side now, so he could be. Sure, I'll get back to you if I see him. You'll hear me running. The fences are electric too, so. And when they're wet, you always get a worse shock off them, so be careful with the fences. Then they look like twine, but that's alive. Now, all the cattle are down here, so I presume the bull is down here with them. So I just have to take a chance. And I hope I spot him before he spots me. Obviously they were down the river, they're getting water. I can't see him yet. Well, then is that him there? No. Cows are very inquisitive as well, you see, they'll come over around you. The electric fence there. One cow's after spotting me, two of them after spotting me, there's a couple of them after spotting me. This is it now. I just thought there was no bull with them. I could try and get in over there, but I'll get soaked. I'll mosey on down this way and check it out and see. That fella there was doing a lot of looking. It's a near cow, I think, though. But still, can't be sure. Now they're coming down for a look. This thing about cows are inquisitive. They only look like young cows anyway, so I doubt if there's any bulls in here with them. And again, you wouldn't know. They're bullocks. Bullocks can be brave now too. They're not cows, they're all bullocks. Bullocks can charge you because they're a bit boisterous. Bullocks can be. So like, my man's coming over here to have a look. The best thing to do isn't show enough here. They charge, you know, and all they do. Just walk over to them, they're all coming over for a little look. What's happening, lads? On camera, say hello. Say hello, boys. They're all young bullocks, you see. One of them get frisky now, they all start jumping and bucking. But I don't mind, they're not too bad at the minute, they're young. So when they get older, they can be bold. How's you gotten, lads? How's you gotten? How we know? How we know, lads? They're inquisitive cows, they're clever, like. They come over to you too, like some of them will. He could be trying to charge me now yet. You know, you don't know. Some of them will charge. Yeah, so you're going to turn your back on them. They're harmless now, as I said. I'm not afraid of them, but at the same time they do charge you sometimes. But they're mainly inquisitive. If you went out there now, lay down on the ground, they'll come over and they'll lick your palms, your feet. I used to do it. And as a child I lay down and let the cows come over. Not the bullocks now, but the cows. Lie in the field and they'll all come over around you. Anyway, get back to doing a bit of fishing. I'll talk to you in a few. See what happens. Sometimes if you're fishing there and you meet a trout, that lets you know where you're fishing. There isn't a salmon. Because when a salmon moves in, the trout move out. So if you're fishing a place and you start meeting trout, you better have to move on from there, move down the river, try somewhere else. Because as I said, the trout won't hang around with the salmon. As soon as the salmon moves in, the trout shoot away from them. So if you're only meeting a trout in such a place, then you better have to just move on, because there is no salmon there. I usually move down a couple of feet. There could be a salmon 10 feet below him. But he's definitely not around in that area. Within about 10 feet the trout won't hang around the salmon. But you, if you're only little trout, 6 inches, 7 inches tall, long, and then comes a salmon that's 30 inches, well, you're going to move out of the way fast in case you get it. It's the trout, he's at it again, I think. Anyway, sure, I'll leave him off a minute. I'll catch him and I'll leave him off out of it. If I catch him and throw him back in, he won't go at it again for another while. Well, it's time to make a cup of tea. And the birds and the bees and the hogweeds. And I'll move on down a bit. Another couple of good spots down here. There's a big hole below there. I know it's a very big hole. It's never any good. I very rarely get fish out of it, even though it's a big deep hole, but never really got nothing in it. But when you go around the corner, then you come into some more, it's narrower, a deep channel. That's a good enough hole spot, and then you come out into the flats. If there was fish travelling now, i.e. fish coming up the river, you'd be in a perfect spot here, because that's all a gravel bottom out there. And the fish are travelling, trout, worms, just bottom, bang, that's it, you'll be hooking them, or fish a bait. A lure, i.e. a lure, whatever they call it. We call them wobblers and baits here in Ireland. In other countries they call them lures. So it's time for a cup of tea, people of the world. Suppose I'll just let the camera record away. Let you listen to nature. So I made myself a nice cup of tea. That's what I'll do. As I said before, I don't know, could you see it a while ago, you might see it a bit better now. A cup of tea, an Irish breakfast, shall I say, can I see that? Yeah. But it's gone upside down. An Irish breakfast. Sun's coming out now a bit, so it's not the best time for fishing in the sun. But you can sit down and enjoy it. There's clouds, are full of clouds back here, so it's going to lash rain again in a minute. So now is the time to get a cup of tea and just chillax. Unbreakable flask, the only flask to have if you can see me. Because you have a tendency to be leaving your fishing gear down hard, and I often had the normal flask years ago and you'd break them, so and you wouldn't even have no tea then. Unless you bring a kettle and you can light a fire. But sometimes the flask is handy. When you're only out for a few hours like I am now today, I came out this morning at 8:30, I'm only going to stay till about 2. But if you were out for the day, it's good to bring the tea, light the fire and a cup of smoky tea. You can't bear it. Where's my spoon? Of course, the old banya. I always bring a lot of banya because what you don't use for tea you can drink. Organic banya too, by the way. So I had a sandwich a while ago. So now I'm going to have a caramel wafer bar. Throw it at it again. Trout in this river are very small. The salmon are big, but the trout are small. I'm playing a bit of music. That's so I can pick up a signal out there.
You're the boy I love.
The boy I love. So how could you beat it, lads? How could you beat it, boy? Over there to the far side. Bit of sun coming through, but that's the weather I'm looking forward to. See that? I don't know if the camera doing it any justice, but the sky is black back that way. So it's going to lash in a while. The best time for fishing. Really look. Here comes the rain, lads. Here comes the rain. I told you she's going to come milling down, boy. Time to put back on the jacket, lads. This is the weather for it, boys. This is the weather for it. Salmon are more active in the rain. Put an old card over the camera. Up, here she comes. She starts running for cover. Right, so lads, I met a salmon there. He just busted my worm. See, the weather all busted, but he never pulled the tails off him. But what he done was I threw him out, he picked him up and he started backing away with him. So he's taking him away from where he's resting. So the next time he takes him out, I'm going to hit him straight away and I might hook him. So, see the way the worms are just busted, they're all bit. I don't know, can you see them there? They're all bit, they're not tailed. So I was off down there about 3 miles down the river. Now my plan is to go walk up here about 2 miles. The water's perfect anyway, that's one thing for sure.